Hello, welcome to my kitchen. Today I am pulling out one of my old Texas recipes, and that is fish tacos. This is something that I used to make a lot when I was cooking professionally. And something that I realized really quickly was that a lot of people really like fish, but they don't know how to cook it. And they're very intimidated by it. If you're one of those people, this is the perfect recipe for you. It's quick, it uses very few ingredients, and it is always delicious. My fish of choice in fish tacos is tilapia, and I've got a couple of tilapia fillets here, and I place them on paper towels because fish has a high water content. I wonder why. Maybe because it came out of the water. And I want to get rid of that. I want these nice and dry. So I've got them sitting on the paper towels. You can use catfish. You can use cod fillets, you can use baja, you can actually use shrimp for this recipe. It's also very, very good. If you're not a fan of tilapia, just use whatever floats your boat. Haha, no pun intended. I am gonna start with my sauce. I'm making a delicious creamy based sauce that goes over the top of these tacos, and it is so good. I use it when my husband and I do a low country boil. We're boiling the shrimp, potatoes, and sausage and corn. Oh, my mouth's watering just thinking about it. And we dip everything in this sauce. It is so good. It's similar to a Thousand Island. Now, don't turn me off. This is really, really good. And I'm starting out with my mayonnaise. That's my base. And I'm not measuring because I've made this so many times, but I will tell you, however much sauce you want to make, you're going to use 2 parts mayonnaise and 1 part ketchup. So that's what I'm doing. It's just my husband and I, so I'm not making a lot. And whatever I have left over, I will put in a mason jar and save it for next time. And I'm going to mix this together. Now, what makes it really good for me is horseradish. If I can find wasabi in Dothan, which is sometimes hard to do, I will use wasabi in this, and it is yummy, kind of like a yum yum sauce if you've had that at your Asian restaurants. But I have some prepared horseradish here, and I'm adding it to taste. Some like more, some like less. I can eat it by itself. I love the horseradish. To me, that's the best part about sushi, is getting the horseradish on your sushi. I'm just going to mix this in. And I'm also going to add just a small amount of pickle relish. It doesn't matter if you use dill pickle relish or sweet pickle relish. I happen to have sweet, and I like a tad of sweetness with these fish tacos. Not too much, but just enough, because it really balances out all of the flavors that are going on. And just going to stir this in. My husband will only eat Thousand Island dressing, period. He will not eat anything else. And when we first started dating and he'd come over for dinner, I would have the bottle of Thousand Island. And one time I think I ran out, so I just made it homemade. I mean, it's so simple. And he tasted that and he said, "Oh, that is so good." Well, I ended up buying a bottle of it again. And when he tasted the bottled Thousand Island compared to what I make and keep in the refrigerator for us, he said, "Honey, I didn't realize how much better it is when it's homemade versus the bottle, but can you please just make the homemade from now on?" So since that day, I've never bought another bottle of Thousand Island. We always have it in our refrigerator, ready to go. I'm gonna taste this and just see if I need a little bit more horseradish. That's good. I could stand a little bit more, but I don't think he could. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Now I've got my tilapia fillets. These are good and dry, and I'm gonna remove them from the paper towel. If you really like a very mild fish, then I'm going to suggest that you do something. The part of the fish that is the strongest is this vein that runs through. See that? That is very easy to cut out. This is such a mild fish, I'm not going to remove it, but if you're very sensitive to that, then by all means, remove it. And then you'll have even a milder fish. I'm covering this just lightly with some olive oil. And I'm doing this for two reasons. The first reason is it's going to help my seasoning to adhere to the fish and stick a little bit better. And also, it's going to help when I cook it and it won't stick to my pan. Now, when I say that this recipe is easy, I mean it is easy. I have my seasoning here, and these are fish tacos, and this is taco seasoning. Listen, you could go to the trouble of getting your garlic and your cumin and your chili powder and your onion and all of that, but why would you want to when it's already in the package and they've done it for you? This costs less than $1, and I just use what I need. And I am going to cover my fish fillets with this. It also has a little bit of cornstarch in it and flour, and that's going to make a nice little crispy coating on the top that I especially like. Just flip these over and do the back side. Now, like I said, this is equally as good with shrimp. I do this. I make this same recipe with the shrimp, and it is oh so good. That's really my husband's favorite. Smells like tacos. Let me wash my hands and we're gonna get busy cooking this. Cooks. So I've just sprayed my skillet with some nonstick cooking spray and put my heat on medium-high. And I just think this is an extra step that makes the fish tacos so good versus just serving it in a cold flour tortilla or even one that you've heated up in the oven. They're just so much better when they have that little charred flavor to them, and they get so much softer. See that? I'm taking a little bit of my nonstick butter, because butter makes everything better, spray. And just cooking them on both sides. I'm going to finish these and then we're going to get started on our fish. All right, that's finished. Now I'm just going to take these, wrap them up, and pop them in the oven to keep them warm. Now let's start on the fish. My skillet is really hot, and that's what I want. You want to cook this quick and fast. And down goes my fish, right in. Hear that beautiful sound? It's what I call applause. When you hear that sound, you know that it's right. The oil that I added to the fish really comes in handy because it keeps my fish from sticking, and I don't have to add a lot of oil to my pan, which is nice. I'm going to show you the best way to turn this and it not fall apart. Get a spatula. Let's look at this. Oh, looking good. This is going to take probably 2 minutes tops. I am going to flip this over. Look at that beautiful color. Now this is a little bit larger, so it might take just a minute more. Flip that right over. Doesn't that look good? And I know one thing, it definitely smells good. Now I am turning my heat off completely. One of the things that you want to do when you're cooking fish is not overcook it. If you do, then it becomes tough and it also tastes a lot fishier. And I don't want to risk overcooking this, so I just turn my heat off, and that way I know it'll be perfect. This looks just right. Look at that fish fillet. I wish that you could smell it. It sounds so cheesy to say, oh, I wish they had smell-o-vision, but I really wish we did, because you would run to the store and get everything you need to make these and make them right now, because when you smell them, you're definitely going to have the craving for fish tacos. Let's look at that. Look at the back side of this. See how nicely that seared? And that was with me turning off the heat. Always remember, when you are cooking almost anything, that color is flavor. If you cook this and it still looks like the fish that you started with and it's blonde like my hair, you don't want to eat it. You definitely want the color on this, because that color is flavor. We're just about ready to eat. Let's go put these together. Now comes the fun part. It is time to start building these fish tacos. Got my tortillas. I can hardly wait. This is definitely one of my favorites. I'm going to take a little bit of this sauce and I'm going to spread it out on my tortilla. And I'm going to take this delicious fish. 2 pieces of fish will make a lot of tacos. Now, when I make a fish taco, I want some fish in there. A lot of times when you order them at restaurants, they'll break up the fish and you wonder, where's the fish in my fish taco? Kind of like the old thing, where's the beef? It's exactly right. In the fish tacos, we want fish. I am going to break this up just a little bit. And I have some coleslaw. This is just coleslaw out of the bag, or cabbage that makes coleslaw, and put that right over the top. Now, if you're not a fan of cabbage, you can definitely use lettuce or whatever you like. And I have some fresh cilantro, which I happen to think is delicious. And to go a step further, I've got some jalapeno. Just going to chop a little bit of this and put it right over the top. And I have some lime. Have a little bit more of my sauce. That will go right on the top. It's very hard for me to contain myself right now because I know I am about to eat this. And a little finisher is just a squeeze of lime right over the top. Now let's see how I did. Ooh, I have a feeling this is going to be messy. That's okay. You ready? This is so good. The fish is seasoned perfectly with just the taco seasoning. So good, and the crunchiness that the cabbage gives and the flavor of the cilantro and the fresh jalapeno. Oh, it is over the top. You have got to try this. It is one of my all-time favorites. I hope that it will become yours. If you like this, please share it with your friends, press that like button, and always remember, you are such a blessing. You're a blessing to me. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.